I'm Jake, and my co-hosts are Gavin, Sebastian, and Charles. Welcome to our podcast, Managing Stress as a Developing High School Student. Managing stress as a high school student is extremely important because there's a direct link between student burnout and academic stress, not to mention the horrible mental health problems that can stem from unhealthy balance of academics and personal life. When students are stressed out, they may try to overcompensate by doing too much, leading to burnout, or they may begin to stop trying at all, believing that they simply cannot handle it. There's a ton of pressure placed on them to succeed by not just their parents and teachers, but even themselves. Learning how to manage expectations and stress is something that all high school students need to learn how to do.
Imagine a soccer game where the goal keeps moving farther and farther away no matter how many goals. All the players, even the opposition, are running tirelessly, constantly pushing themselves beyond the limit. But it's never enough to win the game, no matter what they do. This is a reality for students in today's very competitive schools, where the pressure to excel in every aspect of life is constantly relentless. So, let's dive into this journey together and learn how to get off that sweaty soccer pitch of endless ambition.
The first question to answer is, why do so many high school students feel stress? I think one of the key factors that contribute to these feelings of stress among high schoolers is the idea that college is the determining factor of success in life. Students, especially students in competitive environments such as our school's highly gifted magnet, often feel obligated to start thinking about college so early in life, some as early as middle school. It has become commonplace for students to overload themselves with activities and extracurriculars and place tremendous expectations on themselves to do well. Surveys have been conducted on this topic, and approximately 75% of high school students reported being stressed over academics all the time, which could result in negative effects such as anger, irritation, anxiety, or nervousness, just to name a few. The idea of this college-induced pressure is not new to me. Ever since the beginning of high school, the topic of college admissions has seemed to resurface in almost every conversation with my parents, which tells me that not only does this obsession with college affect students, but also parents. It's evident that this culture of increased stress has had a negative impact on the lives of people, so I pose this question: how can we help alleviate stress among high schoolers?
When it comes to the achievement culture and hustle culture that has been so ingrained into our society and has caused students to suffer from burnout, there are fortunately ways to combat the stress students are experiencing. One way to do this is to set your own boundaries, know your own limits. Sometimes you need to stop working and tell yourself to rest. Is it really necessary to strive for perfection? We all think that having the perfect academic record and doing all the extracurriculars is the pathway towards getting into a good college. We have to be perfect. Colleges won't take us if we're not perfect. Everything we do now is geared towards college. But is college really the end? Let's say you studied 4 hours on end each day, participated in several sports, won a few competitions, and accumulated countless volunteer hours, finally managing to get into Harvard. You work hard in college, and you graduate in a few years. But what next? You still have the rest of your life to live, a whole new world to navigate, new responsibilities, a job, taxes. College is not the end. College doesn't guarantee success. The finish line is not college, it's much further. And when you think about all the hours you've spent working and how that time could have been spent with your friends, that birthday party you missed, you have to wonder, was it really worth it? Sometimes all we need to do is shift our mindset. There's no reason to work ourselves to the ground. We need to set boundaries, make some time for ourselves, relax and ease the tension and stress in our minds. These high school years are meant to be enjoyable and fulfilling. As Eve Ewing puts it, there is no glory in a grind that literally grinds you down to dust. However, more and more students in our society don't seem to understand this. The overwhelming stress only serves to batter them down. We need to make these students understand that they don't need to be pushing themselves so hard. These students must grow up to view their high school years not with regret, but with satisfaction.
thank you for listening to our podcast. A book from our mentor podcast called Never Enough, When Achievement Pressure Becomes Toxic by Jennifer Wallace was used partially. Meanwhile, the apps used for the creation of music and the overall podcast were Soundtrap and YouTube Music. Meanwhile, other sources used were the John Templeton Foundation, and the Mentor Podcast transcript also served as a primary source of information. Thank you.